The first thing that I'm going to read to you is the effect that packaging makes in sales and marketing. It's a story about packaging that inspired the heck out of me. And then the second thing is another story about the same person and the same company that also really inspired and motivated me. Here's the first story. Apple spent millions designing boxes you'll throw away. Microsoft laughed at them. But this quote-unquote wasteful obsession is now studied in design schools worldwide. Here is the crazy psychological principle they discovered which changed sales forever. 1995, Jobs returned to a struggling Apple. While competitors focused on specs and features, Steve Jobs saw something different. The experience starts before you touch the product. It begins the moment you see the box. Enter Johnny Ive, a brilliant industrial designer who caught Jobs' attention. Jobs promoted him to Senior VP of Design. Together, they would revolutionize not just products, but how they are presented. Jobs' obsession shocked everyone. He said, "The box is the first moment of truth. It's when you begin to communicate what the product is about." Most CEOs, they would call this wasteful, but Steve Jobs saw something deeper. Packaging could create an emotional connection. Their design principles were meticulous: perfect box edges, layered product reveal, premium materials only, precise opening experience. The team spent weeks testing different papers, boxes, and textures. And then I'm getting excited reading this again. For the original iPhone box, they obsessed over the paper's texture and finish, the sequence of the unboxing, the lid's resistance when opening, how each component was revealed. Every element was intentional. The impact was revolutionary. Unboxing became a cultural phenomenon. Competitors started investing in packaging. YouTube channels dedicated to Apple unboxing. That when this person who wrote this post said YouTube channels dedicated to Apple unboxing, I thought about they created the unboxing niche by having packaging that was such a delightful experience. And the guy's right, entire channels dedicated to unboxing of Apple products. And I think about whenever I buy an Apple product, and it's such a nice experience opening the box, taking it out. It's very simple, very few cords. It's just beautiful and pleasant. So what I'm reading continues. Design schools analyze Apple's approach to such an extent that Apple even patented its iPhone and iPad boxes. Each new product gets unique packaging design. The company invests millions in this experience. Why? Because Jobs believed excellence is in the details. The lesson? Details matter, even the ones customers throw away. Your product isn't just what you're selling, it's every single moment of the customer experience. As Jobs said, the back of the fence is just as important as the front. Most founders focus on the product. Great founders obsess over the entire experience. What boxes are you designing in your business? Remember, excellence isn't expensive. It's attention to detail. That's the difference between good and insanely great. Oh man, that's a post. It's from Terry Kim at Project Kim on X. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how much I liked that post. I'm finishing Compact Keywords now. It's my SEO program, and it's my first standalone product that I have created all on my own. Previously, I've always had co-founders. I've been working on this product since April. It is now November 1st. Since the beginning of April, I've been working on this. And I'm almost done, and I've already started shipping it, thanks to the early customers. But when I do the wide releases, I'm thinking, what is it going to be like once somebody makes a purchase? When they make the purchase, what's that experience going to be like? And how can I make it feel good and feel special? It's that type of thing, that type of experience, assuming the product is good as well, that I believe increases word of mouth a lot. And word of mouth is the strongest marketing channel. It's not really, I don't even know if you could call it a marketing channel, but it has the highest conversions. When several friends tell you you should buy something, you're going to buy something. And I loved how this post was written. It's all right to me. It all seems so right. I mean, they did unboxing and packaging so well that unboxing became a niche for entertainment. That's crazy. All right, on to the next one. It's another Steve Jobs story. Look, I know a lot of people might not like Steve Jobs. Apparently, he was a very bad manager. I mean, everyone agrees that he was a great manager, but bad to people. That's what people say. He's a great manager, but a lot of the people who worked under him did not like him. And that sucks. But the products that he gave the world were revolutionary. And I am super inspired by his biography, the Walter Isaacson biography, stories about him, things that he has written. And this is another such story. And I read these two posts this morning, the one about packaging and then the one that I'm about to read to you now. And they just got me so hyped. So here is the next one. This next one is a beast. It's a comeback story. It's a great comeback story. Oh my gosh. I'm happy that I get to share it with you. So here it is. Story number 2 about Steve Jobs. This is from Ole Lehman. Both threads will be linked to in the description for this podcast. Here it goes. When Steve Jobs returned in 1997, he had 90 days to save Apple from bankruptcy. Everyone in Silicon Valley thought it was doomed. Steve was right. Everyone was wrong. It's the comeback story of the century, and every entrepreneur must know how he did it. Jobs, who'd been forced out in 1985, returned to a barely alive Apple in 1997. After years of mismanagement, the company was worth just $3 billion to Microsoft's $148 billion. Apple's stock hit a 12-year low. Michael Dell's advice? Shut it down and give the money back to the shareholders. So I just want to pause here because I want you to remember this number. Apple is worth $3 billion. Microsoft is worth $148 billion. Michael Dell says, shut Apple down and give the money back to the shareholders. But Steve Jobs had other plans. His first move shocked Silicon Valley. Jobs negotiated a $150 million investment from arch rival Microsoft. We need all the help we can get, Steve Jobs told the Macworld 1997 audience, who booed him for this. The deal bought Apple crucial time, but would it be enough? With immediate cash flow concerns addressed, Jobs turned his attention to Apple's sprawling and messy product line. The company was producing a dozen different versions of the Macintosh, along with printers, digital cameras, and other devices. Jobs was disgusted. He famously drew a 2x2 matrix and declared that Apple would focus on just 4 core products: desktop and portable computers for both consumers and professionals. This ruthless simplification raised eyebrows, but it was necessary and became core to Apple's philosophy. It's like what I was saying before about how when I open Apple packaging and it's just a few things in there, and that was all intentional, and it's so nice. And also for you, as someone who's building a brand, making products, selling services, whatever it is, focusing on doing something extremely well is so much more memorable than just shipping or putting something out that is just good. In 1998, Apple unveiled the iMac, a sleek, colorful, all-in-one computer that stood in stark contrast to the beige boxes dominating the market. It was an instant hit, selling 800,000 units in its first 5 months. Apple was back in the game, but Jobs was just getting started. Steve recognized that during his 12-year absence, Apple's brand had become stale and dry. It needed more than great products. It needed a rallying cry. That's when Jobs launched the 1997 Think Different marketing campaign to rejuvenate the brand. I'm a 90s kid. I remember this. Celebrating misfits and rebels, it repositioned Apple as innovative, cool, and exciting again, just like how it was during Steve Jobs' first reign. The public's perception of Apple began to shift. Apple became cool again. As the new millennium dawned, Jobs set his sights on the music industry. In 2001, Apple introduced the iPod, promising 1,000 songs in your pocket. Initial sales were modest, but the 2003 launch of the iTunes Store created a seamless ecosystem for digital music. The iPod iTunes ecosystem was game-changing, and the iPod's popularity exploded. By 2007, Apple had sold its 100 millionth iPod, making it the best-selling digital music player of all time. The music industry would never be the same. In 2007, Jobs stepped on stage to unveil a product that would change everything: the iPhone. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator, Jobs announced. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device. That's what Jobs said to the audience. And the audience, they gasped. The industry scoffed. But Steve Jobs knew this wasn't just a phone, it was the future in your pocket. With a sleek multi-touch interface and full web browsing, iPhone made BlackBerries look like antiques overnight. Apple sold 1 million in 74 days, billions followed. It didn't just change phones, it changed us, how we communicate, work, play, and see the world. iPhone birthed the app economy, killed entire industries, and crowned Apple as the king of tech. Jobs didn't just predict the mobile revolution, he ignited it. But Apple wasn't done disrupting industries. In 2010, Jobs introduced the iPad, creating an entirely new category of tablet devices. Despite industry doubts, the iPad became the fastest adopted new product in tech history. Beyond products, Jobs also reimagined retail with Apple stores. Unlike typical tech shops, these sleek stores let customers explore devices hands-on. This interactive approach drove sales and loyalty, making Apple stores the highest-grossing U.S. retailers per square foot by 2009. So many pundits said these stores would fail, said Apple stores would fail. They became the most successful retail stores of all time. And if you look at how high fashion stores look now, they look like Apple stores. Jobs also ended Apple's OS licensing to third parties, a controversial move that initially hurt revenue. He believed controlling both hardware and software was key to the best user experience. Without this move, iPhone, iPad, and Mac's massive success wouldn't be possible. Simplify, simplify, simplify. That's what it was. Internally at Apple, Jobs was known for his legendary attention to detail, obsession, and ability to build world-class teams. He brought in Tim Cook to streamline operations. He worked closely with design chief Johnny Ive to create products as beautiful as they were functional. And the results of Jobs' 14-year reign speak for themselves. In 1997, when Jobs returned, Apple was worth about $3 billion. By 2011, when Jobs stepped down as CEO, Apple's value had skyrocketed to over $350 billion. Apple stock rose 9,000%, and in that time period, his company that was once 90 days from bankruptcy had become the most valuable company in the world. Sadly, 56-year-old Steve Jobs passed away on October 5th, 2011, shortly after handing the reins to Tim Cook. But the foundation he built continues to propel Apple to new heights. In 2018, under Cook's leadership, Apple became the first U.S. company to reach a $1 trillion market cap. By 2024, that value had tripled to around $3 trillion. Steve Jobs, keep in mind, Michael Dell said, shut it down and give the money back to the shareholders. Steve Jobs didn't just save Apple, he revolutionized personal computing, digital music, retail stores, the tablet market, and mobile phones. His vision didn't just change an industry, it shaped the 21st century. It's a comeback story for the ages. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. This is episode 485 of my daily digital marketing podcast, The Edward Show. God, I love these two threads. They are both linked to in the description for this episode. Amazing packaging, attention to detail, beautiful experiences, simplification. So many lessons in these two threads. I'm genuine here. I really like, these are things that I know. The stories were told so well that it gets me going. It truthfully gets me going. Thank you so much for watching if you are watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.